Tonight on the Cooligans, we are talking about Zlatan Ibrahimović getting dunked on by LeBron James. We also talk about racism at the U.S. Soccer annual general meetings. They don't belong there, I'm almost certain. And so much more we're talking about today.
That's right. Plus, we talk to Amy Rodriguez of the new Kansas City women's soccer team. We talk about so much about her career, the amazing Challenge Cup, and why she purposefully hates Christian and scored 5 goals against his home country. That and more today on the Cooligans! Yeah, baby!
All right, yes, music to my ears, okay?
Yeah, you're bleeding ears.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I've lost, 35% of my hearing in this year, but, that's part of the gig.
Yeah, man, I mean, you're welcome, I guess I'll say,
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cooligans. My name is Christian Polanco.
I am Alexis Guerrero. So
all right, we are
the same cadence you just used.
Okay.
You're like Polanco.
we are your favorite stand-up comedians that host the funniest soccer show that has ever lived.
It's also the gulliest, but y'all know that. We've been telling you for 5 years.
That's right. It is not news to you.
Nope.
We're excited about today's show because we have an incredible guest, a U.S. women's national team legend, NWSL legend, still absolutely crushing it in the league. Amy Rodriguez, World Cup winner coming through.
Going back to KC. That's
right.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll talk to her about, the NWSL returning to Kansas City, and it'll be great. But we have to start today's show with some drama, some beef, the smoke being delivered, okay? Because,
what the hell is going on?
What is it? That's really the only reaction you can have. What the hell is going on? What is the point of all this? There's a pandemic going on right now. We can't be paying it.
500,000 people dying in the pandemic. We ain't get our stimmy yet, and y'all still trying to talk ish.
Okay, Zlatan Ibrahimović and LeBron James are on, having some beef, over an ocean. Okay. It is ridiculous because Zlatan Ibrahimović is doing an interview. He gets asked by somebody in Italian media, asking him, actually, I think it was for like Discovery Plus. So this is even weirder that Discovery Plus is becoming the world star hip hop.
Right. So Zlatan Ibrahimović is on the Romanian home shopping network. It's essentially what we're talking about. And by the way, he wasn't even asked about this specifically. He was like, yo, did you go to NBA games in LA? And Zlatan was like, I'm glad you asked me that because I've got some ideas.
Okay, here's, hey, look, I'm going to tell you my political platform.
I want to audition for Newsmax real quick.
So Zlatan, if you haven't seen it, he was asked about the NBA when he played, in LA for the LA Galaxy, and he simply said he was talking about LeBron. He was like, yeah,
he was like, yeah, I loved it. Yeah, it was great. I got to meet LeBron, but I just wish. And everyone was like, what? No, because unless you're gonna simply talk about, I don't know, style of play, like more ISO ball, I would have been like, okay, Zlatan.
Yeah, he simply was saying that he didn't like the fact that he doesn't like when basically an athlete or somebody who's really good at something also gets into politics. Just be good at the thing that you do, and it's just finding a different way to say shut up and dribble. But just it's even crazier coming from someone who also dribbles, right?
Who also doesn't shut up and dribble. And LeBron mentioned this in a very dope sort of clapback, if you will, where he basically says he was like, and he Googled it beforehand, but he was like, yo, did he say stuff about how he grew up with his last name? How he did, right? Like, he did the whole look away. Let's pretend like I already know this, but we both know this. And now the guy was like, he did. Oh, okay. So I guess maybe, And Zlatan has been very vocal about growing up in the country. Was it Switzerland or Sweden? Which was Sweden?
Sweden.
He grew up. It's one of the two. He grew up in Sweden with a ethnic, I guess, a foreigner's last name.
Bosnian.
And he got made fun of for his big nose and his black hair. So he talked about all that. What now? All of a sudden.
Yeah. Nobody told him like, "Hey, stop talking about." Like, it is not being self-aware enough to like not be aware of that. And, like, what is LeBron?
What did he stand to gain by even bringing this up?
Yeah, LeBron is not running for a Senate seat, okay? I mean, he's aware of a problem and how the black community is being treated. He's trying to do something to help support. LeBron also like built a school. He is like providing scholarships from like 300 students, like give or take. Like, the dude is doing the work to try to make the world a better place. Just because once the 48 minutes of a basketball game are over, the life still goes on, and there's things that you still have to deal with. He's also a dad with young black children, and he's everything that's happening kind of feels even closer to home now than probably when he was a kid and he didn't really understand how the world works. So as far as I'm concerned, if I'm Zlatan's manager, I'm like, what are you specifically trying to do? Like, why are you just trying to annoy people? Like, there was no reason for it. It wasn't asked. And I'm glad LeBron came back and was like, come on. My favorite was Baron Davis. Did you see Baron Davis tweet? Yes.
He's like, who are you? Nobody likes you. Galaxy suck. LeBron Davis was like, yo, sit down, LeBron. You handle this with grace. I got the tool on deck,
Yeah, look, and this when I saw this just really kind of reiterated this feeling for me of like people who are just like, I don't want people to talk about politics, right? This is not Thanksgiving dinner, right? This is very much, I understand taking a break for a moment of like that you need some peace in a particular setting, but LeBron is doing the work. Like, the people who are just simply like, I don't want to hear about it.
When you don't talk politics, grandma's funeral. You know what I mean? You don't get up
like
and go.
3 places.
Hey, I know we're all here to honor Abuela, but have you really thought about gun control? Everyone be like, dude, shut up. Even if 2 opposing politicians are there, you'd be like, cállate, coño.
Like,
even if what's happening
I
here.
100% agree with you. I'm just like, look, now is not the time, okay? like it's literally like.
I mean, I'm with you, but like, you need to shush.
Okay, look. Because I'm just crying, and I really don't have the emotional capacity to deal with this right now.
But if there's a billion people watching you dribble a basketball, and someone puts a mic in your mouth, and you really got something to say specifically to your community, Maji, say it. So, Zlatan, thank you for standing up for all of the people that are a little different in Sweden. LeBron, thank you for standing up for the black community here in the U.S. Done. That's it.
Yeah, but it's just that Zlatan's white guilt is like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to hear it right now. Like, it's absolutely childish. And look, I don't know why he said it, because he literally lives the same lifestyle that LeBron does. They're doing the same exact things.
It's ridiculous. Look, we've got more when we get back after this.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Jillian Sakovitz.
And I'm Susanna Collins.
And we got gully with the Cooligans.
All right, and welcome back to the Cooligans Living Room FC. And don't forget, we got Amy Rodriguez of the new Kansas City women's soccer team coming up. So that's going to be fun. But unfortunately, we have to talk about something else that's not that fun. That's not why we do this show, Remember this? We're a comedy show. We're here to have a couple giggles. This isn't the kind of stuff we want to talk about. But I found out about a guy that I did not know about or didn't know existed beforehand, a guy by the name of Seth Yan. He apparently had played for the 7-a-side team. I had won trophies for the U.S. I didn't know about this beforehand. So how did I find out about this guy? Did he do something exceptional in sports? Not exactly. No. Not exactly.
No,
he was given a chance to speak at a relatively boring
on a Zoom call. At the U.S. Soccer annual general meeting. This is supposed to be dull, boring.
We're supposed to never know this exists.
Okay, and obviously the election for two main things were happening at this: the election of the new vice president of U.S. Soccer, and they were voting to whether or not to repeal the rule about players protesting during the anthem at matches. So those were the two main things, and then there were a couple people that were opposed to repealing this rule, and some people had statements that you understand whether you agree with it or not, like why people are doing it. Some people had reasons that made some sense. Like I thought this one was interesting, that they were worried that the opposing country, the opposing team, would also kneel during the anthem, and they felt like that was maybe too far, like a sign of disrespect or whatever. And even though that's like going very far, I understand what they were concerned about, and that's why they were opposed to the rule. But Seth Yan went in a completely different direction.
Let's just say he yanked the steering wheel as far right as you could yank it. Because he started by saying, "Oh, I think this is going to upset a couple of people." But I don't care, which is just like, who invited this guy, you know? And by the way, Google him. You'll see in the photos. He's exactly who you think he is, and he's from Florida. So it's
he's on the Athletes Council, which is made up of current players and former players. And just spoiler alert, he was removed from the Athletes Council immediately for these particular comments. Right?
He spoke for 6 minutes.
He spoke for 6 minutes, and I'll get to some of the quotes, but in general, he basically downplayed slavery, downplayed police brutality, brought the data, quote unquote data, that says how that police brutality is a statistical anomaly, and that the media overplays it, and it's overblown, and this is what leads to all these protests and anger from.
He also tried to cushion a lot of this. He's like, "Look, I feel bad when it happens too, but it's not real." You know. And he also said, he's like, my black coworkers, and I think that's when he realized his, his little play in the mountain with their guns group might have hurt him, because he goes, also my red and white and green and purple. Yeah, because apparently he works with the cast of the M&M's commercials, which is so cool.
So he just really went in basically and really believing that he was brave for speaking this way. Look, and he put out his whole resume and did I was in I don't know if it was military or something, and he's like, I've gone to countries in Africa and I've helped people and I've seen. He also did a thing where he said that when he was in some country in Africa that he was able to buy people. He was like, I was able to buy people. Where are the social justice warriors when it comes to? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I think the social justice warriors are kind of upset. You just admitted to human trafficking.
Yeah, okay, so because you had the option, it's like, this is always the issue with people, especially about this damn anthem and the protesting. It's always like, why aren't you complaining about this other atrocity? Why should we pay attention to your frustration with this, what's going on in this country, when there's other atrocity? So we'll never do anything. We'll just never get to anything, because you're always going to be mentioning some other issue that we should also be upset about.
Right. And also, how dumb is it to say, well, you don't care that this offends half the country, and we shouldn't do it because it's going to offend half the country. What you're saying is offending half the country. You know what I mean? First of all, your personality offends me. Every photo is of him with a cigar or an automatic weapon or surrounded by guns with his feet up. It's like, how? How could you have this much of this personality? You're essentially the guy who wears fedoras everywhere, and no one's told you it sucks. No one's told you no one likes you. This is why people don't invite you anywhere.
But it leads me to question, like, how did this dude get elected? Like what? And this is kind of what happened. And we had Mikey Lopez and Smith Hunter on the show who got elected into the Athletes Council, and we're joking initially about like, oh, these things should be boring. We shouldn't even know anybody. But now people they're learning more about how U.S. soccer is run and how it's working. And for a dude like this to get elected, and he clearly knows a lot of people in the soccer world. You see his posts. There's a lot of very famous footballers that are liking his photos, and some of them are, some of the things he's saying they're not great, right?
No.
So
like in fact, Christian Pulisic was someone who liked the photo of him with like surrounded by the wall of guns and whatever.
Yeah.
And that photo's kind of been going with like a circle around seeing Pulisic, and this kind of stuff has followed Christian for a little bit. You know what I mean? You, Polanco, it's about time we bring it up. No, Christian Pulisic. It's kind of followed him a little bit. And like, I don't know that he needs to necessarily come out and say something, but like, the whispers are getting louder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's just say that I'm going to go buy a men's national team McKenny jersey now. You know what I mean?
But it's like, I'm not going to accuse anybody of anything or
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know anybody's perspective based on what photos that they like. But
I can tell you this, though. If my wife pulls up Instagram and there's a picture of a girl with a big old booty and the first thing she sees is me liking that, let's just say she's not going to wait for my perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, he does. It doesn't mean anything about our relationship or
maybe
marriage.
He's just supportive of the arts. You know what? Why don't you just tell me at what time you like the photo? Because if there's an AM right around it, we need to have a conversation. You know what I mean? So I do think to some degree you're right. I don't want to cast aspersions on anybody, right? Because we don't know. Yeah. But how's it looking right now? You know what I mean? It ain't looking good, my G.
All I'm saying is like some Bernie Sanders stuff as well, just to balance it out a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? Go heavy on the Bernie. You know what I mean? Stimmy, like the stimmy. You know what I mean?
All right, we got so much more coming right up. One suggestion for Street FC. I should have mentioned this to Kyle. I think you should use futsals instead of regular soccer balls.
Why?
Because there's some games I play, and some of these guys are so good, some of the women too, are so good that I'm like, all right, you need to slow how fast you're passing the ball to me. And I need I need some lead in the soccer ball to just.
So you want to take a weighted ball off the chest, is what you're saying? All right, Christian.
But usually a futsal stays on the ground. Usually, it rarely bounces up. That's my suggestion. Maybe not all the games, but some of the games.
We suggest a 1-star game for you then, instead of a 5-star.
How dare you insult me on my television show? That is.
We actually added in 1 star. Dennis said negative stars. You didn't hear?
You're more like a 3-star. I'm still a 1 star.
No, it's all good, man. It's genuinely great. All right, welcome back to the Cooligans Living Room FC, and make sure to stick around because we do have Amy Rodriguez of Kansas City's new NWSL team. Okay, let's talk about Barcelona, because they are in the news.
Everything's going smoothly, right? That's why they're in the news.
It's either they're losing terribly or they're in trouble with the ops. Okay. Because this was insane. Literally, as a couple hours ago from where when we're recording this, Barcelona's offices got raided. The team's offices got raided,
and people got arrested.
Okay, they came with the bracelets. All right.
Okay, Camp Nou or New Camp is a trap house. What's going on?
Because we've spoken about him before, but the ex president for the team, Josep Bartomeu, he is one of the people that have been arrested. I'm looking at the other folks. It was an advisor, Jaume Masferrer, the club CEO, Oscar Grau, Oscar the Grouch.
Hey, boom, boom. And the head of legal services, you don't want to be that guy right now, Roman Gomez Ponte.
Oh, the top lawyer's getting arrested too. All right, so everybody.
Oh, the guy who reviewed all the documents. Yeah. No, I guess that's me. Go ahead. Can I make one phone call?
What? Can I call myself? Is that allowed?
Can I call a headhunter and get a new job real quick?
So if look, and some of the details are coming out, and from what we understand, that the reason that they got arrested was because there's an allegation about some sort of social media consultant or somebody that they hired. They're calling, they're essentially saying it's a big scandal because they hired some company to badmouth players and politicians and things like that either maybe accounts that had a lot of influence. I don't know exactly what.
But this is like very common though, and I only because like people keep they're throwing allegations about this stuff. But when your contract is up, or you're getting ready to in American sports become a free agent, or in Europe you're looking to maybe transfer, so suddenly some bad things start coming out about you in the press, just to lower the the potential value of you, so that other teams don't want you, things like that. Political, espionage, if you will, seems a bit of a stretch for
I don't. Barcelona basically said like, we don't work with these guys anymore. But the cops are like, no. We see.
We're gonna verify that. We're gonna put the blue check on that ourselves.
So I think the main thing here is just like, we look, the last couple months we've been hearing all this either negative news about Lionel Messi and that he's leaving, and then
taxes and the whole nine,
issues with
his contract,
contract stuff, issues with the club or whatever, and he seems to be the only one who knows what's going on. He's like, I gotta get out of here. Okay, this relationship is getting way too toxic. Okay, this reality show.
He's the one who snitched to the cops. He's like, you really want a story? Look, it's Messi on his way out, making it real messy. He's like, I don't know if I get a statue.
Because it's real easy and common for a club to maybe badmouth a player, but what if if the player has a little bit of power and influence as well? I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying he's no snitch or whatever. I'm just saying if something negative came out, that would help his negotiating when it comes to move to
standing with the fans to be like, nah, I think you see why I want to leave. You know what I mean, right? Because I had nothing to do with this, but look at all those things, and tomorrow they're going to come out with even more. Allegedly, I don't know. So. Who knew? Who knew it was an episode of The Wire out in Barcelona? We got Amy Rodriguez coming up in a little bit. Stick around. David, first recommend for you, Jorge. I'm Guano, so this is really important for me. When you're looking at the culture of Miami, really important question, are we going to have croquetas in the stadium?
100%. Pan con croquetas and all the deals. So I think you'll see a very Miami flair to everything that we do in our stadium and our experience, and definitely croquetas are part of the equation, no doubt.
With supporters and colada together, that is dangerous. I can't wait. Now, David, I think in order to connect yourself with a city like Miami, maybe bring some of that Cubanness, I think you could adopt me. I'll be the Bronx Beckham. You know what I mean? You got Brooklyn already, right? I'll be the Bronx. As my own name. You know what I mean? I think it'll work, right? It'll, like, more Guanos will show up. You'll have a lot of like beautiful shoes and stuff.
I agree. Totally agree.
Also, David, you played in. It's an honor. You played in some incredible derbies throughout your career. What do you expect as far as maybe Miami against Orlando? Is that competitiveness and that energy? What do you expect from it?
We want to create that culture. We want a rivalry, and I think Orlando started that rivalry the moment that they did that funny skit about us and the whole Jurassic Park.
Right.
And we found that very funny as an organisation because we knew that what we were building would be special. So we want that rivalry. I've been lucky to have played in derbies in La Liga, in the Premier League, obviously in France as well, and also in LA. So those rivalries are so important. They're so important for the game. They're so important for the fans. To create something like that is such an important part for us as a club and as a community.
Jorge, how important was it for you to do something like this when Fidel wouldn't let us?
Super proud as a Miami native and as a Cuban American. first Cuban American owner of any type of sports franchise in the United States. So it's a proud moment for us. We've been very blessed as a family. But for us, it's all about giving back to Miami, giving back to our community, and showing what's possible in the United States of America, where if you dream, it can happen.
All right, baby, we're back on the Cooligans Living Room FC, and don't forget we got Amy Rodriguez coming right up of the new Kansas City women's soccer team. But let's talk a little bit about MLS because you're seeing a lot of these kits getting revealed, right? And some of them really cool, right? Like we were able to get sent the NYCFC ones, which were so cool, and you'll be seeing that on NYCFC's channel pretty soon. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Miami one, which had just came out. Another black kit for Miami. What are you doing? It's hot in Southern Florida. All right? Like, are you trying to kill these people?
Do you want them to like adopt a like Miami Heat one that's like Vice City type? You think they should do a kit like that someday?
I think they should go all white, maybe reflective, maybe mesh. It's so hot down there, so humid. But of course, their owner, David Beckham, was part of the reveal. It's kind of cool. It's got like leaves in it. I don't know if you saw the back. Did you see the back of the jersey?
I don't know. I don't remember what the back looked like.
So it's just a regular black back, and you know the panel doesn't have the same color in the front, but on the back neck it says, and this is Jorge Mas walked in the room and was like, "This is what I want." Because it says freedom to dream. And he was like, okay, tenemos freedom. Okay. And he walked away eating a pastelito, you know. It was freedom to dream. What does that have to do?
Oh, I mean, yeah, look, Zlatan's going to tell him to, you know, stick to sports or whatever.
It's so like, because Fidel, no, we can't put that on the jersey, dude. Like, okay, so just put freedom to dream, okay?
Yeah, but there were a bunch of comments as well from David Beckham because journalists are like, yeah, whatever about the kit. What are you going? When are you bringing the superstar players to Miami? And he was asked essentially about bringing in you know, players like Messi and Ronaldo and you know, but you know, right now.
Well, he did say he was talking about how they hope to build, you know, academy players, people that grew up living and breathing Inter Miami, which is like, great. That's what you want. And someone was like, okay, cool. Huge names. What do you got for us, Papa? Remember? Come on, why don't you go through your texts?
We're working with SEO right now. I don't want to hear about any academy this, academy that. That doesn't really hit the numbers that we need.
Like, yeah, the kids, yada, yada, yada. They're very important. Now, here's what we want. Where's the juicy names?
So, but it is like an interesting thing because now obviously Phil Neville is the coach. Who the coach is really helps and determines what players you can bring in.
I also just imagine Aaron Neville was a coach. Do you remember that guy?
Yes. I mean, look, the halftime shows are going to be great. Okay.
Yeah, the speech is going to be like, you guys don't. The players are like, he harmonized, and that just inspired us. If you don't know who Aaron Neville is, look this dude up. Click on a link to any one of his songs. They all sound exactly the same.
Yeah. So the look now. So people are asking these questions, right? You know, and there's a lot happening with Miami because they are. I also heard that they the possible they're voting on getting the lease for the new stadium in Miami proper instead of where it is right now in Fort Lauderdale. So there's so much potential. I mean, that stadium. Phil Neville, maybe that combination will actually help him bring these superstar players.
And I've said it before, I think a big name coach is almost more important than a big name player right now. Yeah. Getting a guy who's a former player to be a huge name coach, you know, RIP Montreal, right? Like, you know, if you get a huge name, I think that actually helps sell seats because the people that are going to be able to afford seats, they're the ones who remember that player as a big name. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's like a nostalgia behind it, which is why Pirlo got the job. Never having coached a top side before. Yeah, that's how it is. If they loved you, you know, if you had a one-hit wonder, you had a banger in the past, I'm like, oh, well, we're doing another tour. I don't know.
So you got a chance, Aaron Neville.
All right, we got Amy Rodriguez coming right up.
All right, baby, and we're back on the Cooligans Living Room FC, and Christian, our guest, is finally here.
I'm absolutely thrilled. You know, I've been such a huge fan of our next guest for years. I feel like especially when I was getting into watching the U.S. Women's National Team, there was something I'm like, okay, there's a Rodriguez on there. All right, I'm gonna pay attention a little bit. I hear another Latino last name. I'm like, okay, I want to see what she's all about.
That's when I jumped to the Googles and I was like, hey, Rodriguez, ¿de dónde es? You know? And which is why I'm wearing the Cuba kit right here, the Cuba crest, because I found out her grandparents are from Cuba, which means she's the greatest player in NWSL history, right? Because she's brethren, you know what I mean? We share a bloodline, so I have some respect for my sister. Ladies and gentlemen, you know her probably from her time with the women's national team. You may know her previously with the Utah Royals. But put your hands together for the one, the only, for the soon to start, even though it only was created 3 days ago, I think, KC own Amy Rodriguez, everybody.
So grateful you guys are having me on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. This is huge.
So this is an absolute honor for us. Again, like I feel like, you know, for us, for years, you know, essentially I grew up watching you play, winning World Cups and just giving us like just great moments in U.S. soccer kind of lore and history. But let's start real quick with what's going on. You are playing for a quote unquote new team,
a startup, if you will.
Yeah.
Or back with an old team, but you're obviously you know, Utah Royals are now, they moved over to Kansas City, back to Kansas City. You know, NWSL is back there. What's the experience like? I mean, I know you're in training camp. We don't know the details exactly when the NWSL season will begin, but how are you feeling about this sort of transition?
Right. So I'm in my almost 10th season in the NWSL, and I play for the new club, Kansas City. We don't have a name yet, and we're working on our branding. So this isn't our official final crest, but really excited to be with this team. I've played here before. I've won 2 championships before. So really excited to represent them and hopefully bring more championships.
How does it feel to get a chance to sort of, in a very odd way, and you know, we'll cover it, but how does it feel to be back in a city that you had such success at? And it's almost like getting a second opportunity, you know, 10 years in the league, right? Towards the back end of your career now, you're getting a chance to go back and hopefully win another one.
It's so nice to play in front of familiar faces and go back to, you know, old places where you had success. And I credit and attribute a lot of my success in my career to my 2 years that I spent here and played, you know, winning MVP, winning Golden Boot, winning championships. Like, all good things came from being in Kansas City. So I cannot speak more highly of the place and how much I'm looking forward to representing them.
Okay,
that's awesome.
We've had several NWSL players on the show, and we always ask them, like, obviously how this, you know, how 2020 was, right? Obviously, it was that long layoff, and playing in the Challenge Cup, playing in that, and I was more familiar for you playing in Utah there, but the Challenge Cup, and they're bringing back the Challenge Cup because I mean, it was such an entertaining tournament, and you played great in it as well. It was fun to watch you. What's that kind of like that tournament style like the fact that this has been like a sort of a new format and new introduction to NWSL? Does it get the players fired up in a different way?
I would say absolutely. I was so fired up. We had a condensed season, basically, all in one location, you know, 5 weeks, everybody, you know, stuffed in hotels and apartments together, where it kind of felt like a World Cup. It kind of felt like one of those big championship tournaments that I've played in before with the national team, but yet it was in an NWSL. And unfortunately, my team didn't, you know, perform well, didn't get the results we wanted, but I had so much passion playing in those games, and it was a really great competition to be a part of.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things where you guys got the opportunity to, you know, sort of shine in front of the entire country, and the ratings showed it. You were the first league to come back. Was there added pressure on you knowing you're the only thing on TV besides reruns? So everyone's going to be watching?
We loved the attention, that's for sure. It did feel like pressure was on. It did feel like we were really sensitive to what was happening, the pandemic, and, you know, a little bit scared too, like stepping out on the field without our masks on, or, feeling vulnerable. That was part of the game. And luckily we played through it. We had 0 cases. Our club and our league did a great job at keeping us all safe and healthy.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah,
how bad did you want to tell everyone, like, not every game in Utah has a slide, always.
Or maybe they should. Maybe every stadium should introduce it. I'm not against it.
Why not have fun?
Yeah.
I'm wondering look, you are a legend in the game already, and in NWSL especially, and the and we can get into detail about sort of the history of the league and you being a part of it since the beginning. What is the we've spoken to a couple players about this, but like how have you've clearly seen the change from early on to now? Are you shocked, surprised that NWSL has gone as far as it has and getting the ratings that it was during the Challenge Cup and things like that? Like, is it hard to believe, or was it sort of expected for you?
Each and every year, the excitement, the passion, the enthusiasm has just grown. And I will say that is paired up with better talent, better players, more diverse players in the league, players that have come from all over the world to play, in this amazing top world-class league. And it's proving to be super competitive. Each year gets harder and harder. I've been here since the beginning, and I've seen it grow, and I'm just so excited to see where it's going to continue on going up. I'm very hopeful for more and more success here.
Yeah, it also seems like everyone wants to be an owner. It seems like every week there's a new superstar, especially, celebrities and business tycoons that are women that are now owning in the league, which is absolutely incredible. The growth of the league seems like it has so much more to go, but it seems like it's on this even faster upward trajectory. When you look back at your first year in the league and where you are now, the 10 years, where do you think it could be in the next 10 years? Like, what do you think the NWSL is going to be in 2031?
I think of people like Pat Mahomes, Serena Williams, Hollywood. The list goes on and on with excitement and passion from these owners that believe in us. And I'm flattered, I'm proud, I'm excited to represent them. I see the trajectory only going upwards and onwards.
Yeah, it's going to get to a point where we can begin to publicly shame billionaires for not having an NWSL team in the portfolio. I'm like, okay, you're not going to support? Wow, know?
By that point, Bezos' daughter, we're going to be like, oh, you don't want to be an owner? You're just happy owning those islands?
Okay, we got so much more with Amy Rodriguez coming right up.
Have I ever been Cuban? More Cuban.
Okay, wait, look. This is what happens when David Beckham is on this program.
We're too excited. David Beckham.
Cuban.
I knew the moment it left my mouth, it wasn't a real word.
Hold on, because this is a service a Uber service that only picks up Cubans.
Yeah, they pick you up in a 57 Chevy with a Russian engine in it and an abuela.
All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sit next to abuela.
Okay, I'm willing to invest. Is what I'm saying.
Where's Nas owns Lyft, right? Yo, can we get like one of the grave diggers or something? Can we get the Jizza to invest in this?
Welcome to Cuban.
Cuban Eats? No Cuban Eats. There's no food for me to pick up and put in the Cuban. What happened to the show?
All right, welcome back to the Cooligans Living Room FC. We are here with Amy Rodriguez of FC Kansas City and formerly of the U.S. Women's National Team. And I do want to talk about that a little bit because you have such a great history. And one of the things that when I picture you, I weirdly enough, I always think about the amazing goals and the amazing times winning World Cups, things like that. But the there's something this iconic photo of you holding the World Cup, the medal with your child. There's just something always just like you just look so happy, right? That you could celebrate with your baby. And I know obviously motherhood and being a professional footballer is obviously incredibly challenging. I can't do either. So I know it's tough, but talk about maybe just like, I know the questions are general, like how do you juggle being a mom? And it's a little bit more than that. But with 2020 and being a mom and being a professional player, how did that work for you, especially just on a psychological level?
So I know the photo you're talking about, and that's probably one of my favorite photos because I remember 2015 being so grueling. I had come back from having my first child in 2013. I didn't know if I was going to be good enough to play soccer again. The coach gave me a chance, and I worked my tail off to make that team, and we ended up winning the World Cup in that summer of 2015. And I just was, elated with joy that all that had, paid off and it worked out. And I really did feel like I was at like the height of my career in that year.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And speaking of your international career, in a qualifying match, you're known for something which is wild. In a 2012 London Olympic qualifying match, you scored 5 goals against a different nation, and I'm proud to say this to Christian. It was against the Dominican Republic. You scored
how dare you?
You scored 5 goals against one team. At one point, did you go from celebrating to going, "Yo, I'm sorry," by the 4th goal? How 5 goals? Did you try to score a 6th, or at one point were you like, "Look, that one just bounced off my leg. I wasn't even trying."
No, I think when it comes down to qualifying for an Olympics, you cannot take your foot off the gas pedal. And I will say that I'm really fortunate to have scored all those goals. Each and every one was very special to me.
Okay, look, it's just 6 times a reminder of how I will never forgive Amy Rodriguez. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is.
I'm
You had 5
sorry.
goals and 5 daggers in Christian's heart.
I did also want to talk about the state of the U.S. Women's National Team now, right? The She Believes Cup is currently going on, but it's interesting seeing the players that are thriving now, and obviously seeing like the some of the players that you may have played with, like the Tobin Heaths and the Kristen Presses and things like that. Like the fact that you was there any sense of like, oh, this is the future of the women's national team is in good hands?
Absolutely. I think our U.S. team is the best team in the world, and that's why it's so hard to break into. And even now playing, like that I have my eyes set on that. If a roster spot opened tomorrow, I'd be the first one in line. That's the ultimate goal, and I have so much pride, playing, and it's really an honor to represent our national team. But the girls that are playing there now, it's so exciting to watch, and I love seeing our team win, whether I'm on that roster or not. And I hope that at the end of this year, we see an Olympic trophy, gold medal being hoisted at the end.
Yeah, it'd be huge. How about also just the sheer amount of players from the NWSL that are getting signed in Europe? And seemingly now something is happening in women's soccer where the money is starting to get a lot better. The opportunities are getting better. There's more and more eyes. Just talk a little bit about seeing some of these ladies get signed in Europe, and what do you think that means for the future of the NWSL?
Opportunities are coming left and right to some of these players, and it's just a testament to how much the women's game has grown and how much we are valued. The best women's soccer players in the world are in your backyard, and I think that we are celebrating them, and it's really exciting to see them get playing all over the world, and including in the NWSL, which I believe is the best league in the world.
Yeah, you said that like it was a threat, like they're in your backyard.
They're right here.
They're doing keepy uppies behind you. Turn around.
You're kicking the ball against your shed, dude.
But since NWSL is a fairly young league, and there aren't, you are a veteran of the league. What is the being a veteran of the league is also kind of a new thing as well. Do you step in when you step on the pitch? Are you a little bit like, you put in a challenge like, okay, Rook, I've been here a little while. Okay, I know how.
Oh, you didn't know about that shoulder check, young man?
In a sense, yes, but I also find myself taking on that like motherly role where you bring the younger ones under your wing and really take care of them. But I joke with some of my friends that I'm a 33-year-old playing in a 23-year-old's world sometimes. While I'm thinking about diaper changes and babysitters, they might be thinking about what's the next show on Netflix and stuff. So for me, we're just worlds apart, but I think soccer brings us together, and it really is such a passion of all of ours, young and veteran, that it just enhances the play altogether.
Yeah, but are they showing you how to use TikTok?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you're still trying to post on Facebook. You know what I mean? You're like, let me post my kid photos. They're like, no, learn this dance.
That could not be further from the truth. That is so true.
Yeah. You're just telling them like, you want to hear about what's going on with Peppa Pig?
And they're like, I think I follow her on TikTok. They're like, no, I don't think you know who I'm talking about. But I was gonna say, like, your children watching you play at such a high level, as your kids get older, have you had those moments with them where like you could like, they're like, I don't want to clean my room, and you're like, I'm representing this country. Like, do you get that moment where like you get to be like a bit of a superstar? Because I mean, it'd be great.
Well, when I get the emails from the teacher about my son telling the class that I'm a soccer player, they're always like, what is she? It always comes across a little funny, but the boys, my two are 4 and 7 years old, and they're starting to understand what I do, and it always makes me proud to see them cheering me on the sidelines for sure.
That's awesome.
Very much. Yeah, they are. They're clearly incredibly adorable. Why not have them celebrate with you all the time? Look, we have so much more with Amy Rodriguez coming right up after this. All right, welcome back, and thank you to Amy Rodriguez for joining us on the show. Absolutely honored. Yes, we are huge fans, and it means the world. So thank you so much for joining us. Also, Amy, is there anything you want to let people know about before we let you go?
Yeah, just thank you guys so much for having me, and it was an absolute pleasure. If anyone's interested in watching me or my teammates play with the new KC team, you can go to kcwoso.com and check out season tickets or how to catch us up on social media.
Okay.
Very cool.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to see the team play and NWSL back in Kansas City. So it's going to be very, very exciting. Okay. And a reminder to everybody else, make sure you follow us on social media at Soccer Cooligans on all social media platforms. Follow at Fubo Sports and subscribe to the Fubo Sports YouTube channel for full episodes of the program. All right, Amy, we have some business to finish up. We have our goal celebration GIF. What would you like your goal celebration GIF to be?
So this is it. You've just scored your 17th goal against the Dominican Republic. Okay.
I'm putting my hands in my head.
What is your goal celebration?
Fist pump. Yes.
Okay. All right. Look. All right. I appreciate that. After the 17th, you didn't need to do it, but it's fine. I understand. It's all.
You celebrate every goal like it might be your last. So go for it.
True.
Amy, thank you so much for joining us again. Like I said before, an absolute honor. So let us end the show the way we normally do. So for Amy Rodriguez, my name is Christian Polanco.
I'm Alexis Guerreros.
And together, what are we?
The Cooligans!
Brilliant.
I wish we had a camera to see everyone turn and stare at you as you yelled just now.
They did. It's weird.